Valerie Bledsoe here, Master Herbalist with Soul Naturals. And today I want to talk about thrive through the change. So, by show of hands, how many of you know a woman in her 40s or 50s who is struggling with sleep, low energy, mood swings? They just don't feel like themselves anymore. In fact, when they look in the mirror, they don't even know who's looking back. That person might be your wife, your sister, your client, or even you. And she probably feels like she's slowly disappearing behind all the roles she's played for everybody else. So many women feel like they're flying blind in this situation. And we think it's because of one of two reasons, or our thinking is, one is our mothers didn't go through the hardcore issues with perimenopause and menopause. And it could have been because they weren't exposed to the same environment, the toxins, the stressors, the electronics, like our generations have been. Or it could be that they just didn't talk about it and it was going on. One thing's for certain, they had better diets and a different environment, and the conversations weren't had. So many women just feel like they're flying blind, like there's no roadmap. They don't know where to turn. I've been there. I'm 61 at this point, and I've experienced major health crises throughout my life. But when I hit perimenopause, the game changed in a different way because I truly felt like I was navigating um, areas that no one had talked about. And even though I've been in the alternative health field for decades, the conversations just weren't there that were lining up with what I was dealing with, what my clients were dealing with, what we were seeing out there. And so as I've navigated and have worked my way through, and now I've been in menopause itself for 11 years, this vision is personal for me. I have daughters, I have granddaughters, my peers are in the same situations. We want to have the conversations. We have learned things that can allow women and females to be proactive so they don't have to have the challenges that we've had. So they don't have to go through weeks on end. Like I had at least 6 weeks where I was only sleeping 1 to 2 hours a night. I ended up with right before my transition into menopause with heavy duty flooding where I was having to change my feminine material every 15 minutes to where I'd have a cycle for 7 days, not one for a week, and then back again. The the issue, the challenge is real. This is personal, and we want to make a difference. But right now, there are millions of women walking around. They're exhausted, they're overwhelmed, and they've run the gamut. They've tried it. They've tried the caffeine, the diets, the sleep aids. They're still running on fumes. And that could be the caretaker that you know. It could be the mom that's still raising children. It could be the career woman. It could be you. And the thing is, it is everywhere. And women look fine on the outside, but inside they're running on empty. And they don't need another band-aid. They need balance. So let's talk about the cycle of burnout. We get chronic or ongoing stress, or maybe a hardcore situation, and our stress level stays up enough and long enough to where it starts this whole cascade of events. And to simplify it, let's just say the hormones get out of balance. And when the hormones are out of balance, it's impacting things like I was talking about. And then a person's uh, fatigued. They're not being able to think as well, the brain fog. Then they start dealing with the mood swings because when you're tired and then you're just not thinking well and you react differently. And then the cycle continues and you just don't sleep as well. And then that leads to more stress. And the whole cycle repeats and it is ongoing. And so many times these women are just handed prescriptions or they're told, just push through. But I'm happy to say there is a natural way to support the body through this transition. It has given myself and many of my clients and customers relief, and it is called the Perimenopause Core Package, and it's from Soul Naturals. It contains only 3 items, and they're all in capsules, so we don't have to worry about whether or not we like the taste or if we're going to be able to drink it or anything like that. But the Soul Maca XD helps with stamina, mood, libido, because we know that the libido, it might be there for 3 minutes and then it's gone. And that's not the way we as women want to be. Well, the Soul Maca XD has three types of maca, which is outstanding not only for helping support hormones to balance, but helping with bone density, which is important as we age. And then cordyceps, which also helps with oxygen and getting circulation going and restoring vitality in general. Adaptable. Oh, what can adaptable not do? Adaptable helps the body to get out of that high stress situation, like it says here, so that it's the body can breathe, so it can be resilient, so it doesn't have to stay in the on mode all the time, in high response, high adrenaline mode all the time. Adaptable also, we've seen it do amazing things with helping people with their with that mood swings and not feeling so sad and overwhelmed and down. And then vibrancy is the formula that supports the thyroid and hormones, and it comes with powerful nutrients from the ocean, and it is loaded with antioxidants. Now, as a trio, they work phenomenal together to help support hormone balance, help support sleep and mood, helping with mental clarity, energy and libido, and then skin and joint vitality. That's another thing that seems to come out of the blue with all of a sudden, the hips are hurting and we haven't really done anything different. And we don't know why all of a sudden we have these aches. And so this trio is designed to help at a foundational level address what's going on. Let's hear from my friend Debbie about when she added the vibrancy to her program. She was already using the other two formulas.
Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm 66 years old. I've never really had the strong menopausal symptoms, but I had noticed in the past years that it was hard to fall asleep and stay asleep. It was very interrupted sleep. I started using vibrancy a little less than a week ago when we had access to purchasing it. And I've noticed as soon as I got home that I was able to fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, not any interrupted sleep. Another benefit that I've noticed is that I was on a long trip and I didn't gain any weight because my sweet and salty cravings are practically non-existent. So anyway, I hope that helps you. I'm excited to see future results on vibrancy.
I will say that's one of the things that I had noticed very quickly too, was that my sleep started being longer and less interrupted, and I was waking up feeling like I had a deeper sleep, and that was so exciting. So, what are the key benefits of this formula, vibrancy? Well, we talked about how it supports hormonal balance. Well, it does it with different marine minerals and different plants. We've also got Asian ginseng in it, which helps with energy boost, helping you better manage daily stressors. We've got astaxanthin in there, which helps with cognitive function and thinking, aiding in focus, and being able to work through complex tasks and complete them. Strengthening the heart with helping to support more healthy circulation and helping to support blood pressure within the normal range. We've got immune function being supported um, with very high antioxidants from our blue-green algae that's in there and other sea plants that are in there. That's something too that we don't talk about. When we get worn down, it makes us more vulnerable to stressors and getting ill or catching the flu that's going around. It also has high essential fatty acids from our Icelandic kelp blend that helps with the flexibility and skin vibrancy. I will say, I had never had issues with acne as a teenager or even as a young woman, but as I hit around menopause and a little bit before, I'm like, where is this coming from? I've not dealt with acne. I will say, after being on this formula consistently, that has been become non-existent, and I've got other little skin spots that are clearing up that had showed up, and I thought I was stuck with them. And then it supports thyroid health. So we've got iodine-rich ingredients like dulse, and then we do have the three different types of kelp, which are outstanding for helping to supply trace minerals and iodine in for supporting the thyroid function, which is known for helping support overall wellness and helping support a balanced metabolism. When you look at the nutritional profile highlights of this formula, you will see a nice array of B vitamins, um, GLAs, ALAs. You've got virtually in the Icelandic kelp blend, you'll see virtually every mineral and trace mineral needed by the human body is in there. Some of the highlights: iodine, selenium, copper, zinc. Our astaxanthin is a very powerful antioxidant. Dulse is in there, bringing in some things like chromium, which can has its own support that it does. Iron, beta carotene, which we like because that's a precursor to vitamin A, so that your body can convert it to the amount that it needs. And then Asian ginseng root, which is naturally also high in germanium and boron. Boron, if we remember, is outstanding for our bone health as well. So here's a partial list of conditions that are helped with iodine. That comes from Lynn Farrow's book, The Iodine Crisis. And like I said, this is a partial list. Might recognize some of these: brain fog, thyroid issues, dry skin. I'm sharing about how that's changing for myself. Weight gain, menstrual irregularities, being cold, feeling cold, uh, depression, psoriasis. Even in a male, it helps to support the prostate health, vaginal infections, eczema, resistance to colds and virus, and even increased libido. So, what are our key benefits that we have in the formula adaptable? Well, adaptable has got 6 different adaptogens in it that are outstanding at helping your body come into balance and normalize for what is ideal for it for both stress, but then across the board for the system. And it because of this, it also and the double dose that's in there, it helps with endurance and helps sustained energy, helps stop crashing. I've also found that it helps me when combined in this trio with balancing out my sleep so that it's easier to lay down and go to sleep. Now, adaptogens also help support a proper stress response, whether it's and brings it into line, whether it's overactive or underactive, helps scale it back to where it should. And that is by definition what an adaptogen does, helps bring the body to what's ideal or normal, right? A state of homeostasis. It also is outstanding at supporting adrenal function and overall just balancing. And then it's really, really good at helping elevate and balance the mood. So when we look at the profession or the nutritional profile highlights from this, you can see the 6 different adaptogens. They're not as loaded with minerals and vitamins as their other plants because they come in more at like a tonic level and overall general just help the body across the board, like I said, to normalize. And we have to remember that some of the components in order to be considered an adaptogen is they have to be safe to take on a daily basis. They have to be safe no matter the age, and they have to be safe to titrate. Those are a couple of the key items so that we can use them at different strengths. Now we've had adaptable around for a while, and the testimonies are they just still keep rolling in years later. And I love this, the power of adaptable in action. First time in my life I feel relaxed. Adaptable keeps me calmer. I cannot get through tough times without it. And since I never know what the day might bring, I always take 2 in the morning. My life support. After I realize how much the adaptables help me chill out and stabilize my headspace, I haven't stopped taking them. And then specifically when I hit the menopause season of life, I had up my adaptogen game a bit. What normally worked wasn't working as fast, and I started to have that shaky inside anxiety feeling again. I decided to add in 2 adaptable and quickly felt calm again. And our third formula is Soul Maca XD. The key benefits of this have to do with stamina or like sustained stamina. So it's just a nice steady endurance, helping to get that energy throughout the day. Solmaca XD, XD stands for extra dose, is known to help support libido and virility. Whether we're talking about resting better, supporting prostate health, women's reproductive health, it just is very good for supporting the entire endocrine system. And then the 3 types of maca. really help promote that optimal functioning. We've seen it balance out uh, cycles, so that women are more regular. We've seen it help support bringing by balancing out the hormones. We have women that say that their hot flashes are backing off substantially or disappearing. And then also adaptogens, which is another component of adaptogens, is they help the body and mind. So an overall feeling better, sense of feeling better. And then this formula also supports the respiratory system. When you break down Soul Maca XD, you will see that it too, by the way, there's three forms of maca in here, black, red, and yellow. We want to make certain that all components and benefits were being utilized and brought in all three types. And so it's got the B vitamins, it's got the calcium, and some of the minerals. The cupuaçu, selenium, which is great for the brain. We've got antioxidants. We've got Tribulus terrestris, which helps support natural testosterone levels for whatever is ideal for the person. And then we've got cordyceps, which is known for helping the body to carry oxygen better as well. So here are some of the power of Solmaca XD in action. And I like how Sarah here says, when I take my maca, I just feel like I can be my best self. Another person, so much relief built into one capsule. Another woman saying, Soul Maca XD was a win with no more hot flashes. And then finally, we have Betty saying, Soul Maca XD is like putting a jet engine on a lawnmower. Vroom, vroom. And yes, and that's where she's talking about stamina. So all three of these together combined makes up what we call the perimenopause core package. And across the board, it helps support hormonal balance, the thyroid and metabolic health, mental clarity, supporting the health of the skin and joints, and natural vitality. And for only $105, it is such a small investment for a life that feels like yours again. And if you're new to Soul Naturals, whoever shared this video or presentation with you has a coupon that will help you save $10 off that initial purchase, making it even more affordable. So what we've seen is when women start using this system, the changes are remarkable. They sleep again. They're laughing again. They're starting to feel like themselves again. And when a woman is thriving, her family, her workplace, and her community thrive too. Let's hear what Chris had to share after starting taking the vibrancy and adding it to her protocol, where she also already had adaptable and maca as well.
Hey guys, Chris Hedrick here, and I'm here about Vibrancy. This thing is amazing. The first 5 days I took one a day, and since Ignite from doing this, I have dropped another 7 pounds. When you fill the nutritional gaps, your body works like it's supposed to, and it's unbelievable. So I didn't feel depressed, didn't feel like I wanted to sleep, and so about 3 days ago, I bumped it to 2 a day, and I have my life back, and I am forever grateful. Who knew filling the gaps would get clarity and everything back in place? Love it.
And I will say, since I started the vibrancy, that I too have started being able to, number one, it had stopped the weight gain that was happening. It starts going the other direction. And at this point, I am down 11 pounds from doing nothing other than I already had a good, clean lifestyles that I was doing, nutritionally wise and food wise, but I needed help with the minerals, and the vibrancy brought that to the table. I was already taking Soul Maca and adaptables. Therefore, I have the trio in place, and I love what it's doing for me. So as I wrap this up, I want to say that natural health is not a trend. It's a lifeline. And I believe every woman deserves to feel vibrant, not just functional.